Well, here we are again on Dartmoor, and as you can see it's a lovely blue sky day today. Welcome to episode 4 of Spooky Lee's Historic Dartmoor.
Spooky, 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 historic Dartmoor.
The places he goes, the things that he knows, he'll curl up your toes. He's Spooky Lee. The places he goes, the things that he knows, he'll curl up your toes. He's Spooky Lee. The places he goes, the things that he knows, he'll curl up your toes. He's Spooky Lee. He's Spooky Lee. He's Spooky Lee.
Historic Dartmoor.
He's Spooky Lee.
Historic Dartmoor.
Hi Lee, can you tell me what's its ancient this place where we are now?
Well, here, Chris, this is probably the oldest prehistoric monument on the moor, and it could be between 5,000 and 6,000 years old. This here is Spinster's Rock, which is a neolithic chambered tomb.
So what's its purpose then for this to be here then?
Well, with this, something we need to remember is originally it would have been covered by a great big mound of earth or stones. So effectively this was the frame of the tomb. And there are 3 possible reasons for it to have been constructed. It either housed the dead, somebody of high status, or a family maybe of high status, or it held some sort of treasure which would have been plundered not many years after being put here, or it marks where there was a meeting of underground springs. In prehistoric times, moving water and springs were seen as very special, ethereal, and they were revered.
Do you know you said people were dead here? Was it like, could it be like witches that were dead, or Romans, or you know what I mean? Or
It would have been Neolithic people, so we're talking around about 3000 BC.
3000 BC. What about medieval times? Did they like use this, or would they just like, not bother using this and that?
In medieval times, yes, this would probably have been a meeting place. And strangely enough, here we are as tourists, effectively. And I wouldn't be surprised if in medieval times this was a tourist spot.
Tourist spot. What about where would they bury them? On top of the rock or below? Or
It would be below. So probably as we look at it now, it would be in this area here,
yeah.
possibly also underground as well.
There you go. Surprised that this rock's still standing though, isn't it, really?
Yes, apparently it did fall down at one point in the middle of the 19th century, and it was put back up again.
Back up again, yeah, because the stones, like here, it looks like the stones are like, a bit given way really, and that.
It does, yes. It would be surprising, wouldn't it, if something that was so old has stood up for all this time.
So tell us, Lee, who actually built this? Was this the men that built it, or was it just like built, by other things, or how could they get that big massive rock on top of there, you know what I mean?
Yes, I guess they would have, they'd have used a combination of lots of men and beasts of burden as well. They would have used maybe ox to pull these stones up by attaching rope to it and then hauling it up. And it probably took some time, but interestingly, this is called Spinster's Rock, and there's an old story about 3 local women who were spinsters, who operated the spinning wheels, who would erect this in the morning before breakfast. That's obviously a pretty absurd thought, but the name has stuck, and so we've still got the name today.
Yeah. Right, and thanks for that, Lee. Yeah, it just looks very interesting, people getting buried underneath and that, and I just thought the thing might just fall one day.
Yes, as I say, it probably did at one point.
Right, but like you said, in the 19th century, alright, and should we move on to the next one then, Lee?
Yes, let's move on now. We're now off to the village of Bellstone.
Bellstone.
Yes, I quite like the surroundings here. It's very serene, with the sheep over there. And it's quite difficult to imagine this 5,000 years ago, but it's quite an evocative scene still.
So Lee, can you tell us where we are now?
Well, we're here in the village of Belstone.
Yes. Can you explain what these were used for, the things here?
Ah, well, what we have here, Chris, are the village stocks. Now, here, the original granite pillars are Grade 2 listed, and they're very old. The wood is from about 1953, so that's comparatively new. But the pillars are the original ones. And so, like in any village, you'd have had the stocks where people who had committed misdemeanours such as trespass would be brought along here. And either the arms or the legs would go through the holes, and then they'd be treated accordingly.
So what were they used for? When were these used for? When was the last time they were used? You know, and all like that.
They were last used in the mid-1800s, and what would have happened was somebody would have sat on the rock, for instance, with their feet through the holes so that they couldn't move, and they would have been pelted with local produce such as rotten eggs and vegetables that had gone off, things that people no longer needed, the superfluous.
Would they throw them at their legs and their arms, would they?
Yes, they would have thrown them, I think predominantly at the head. There is some evidence to suggest that originally the pillars were much higher, and so the person would have to stand with their arms through the holes. But over time, somehow these pillars have been moved downwards, so now it looks as if people would have had their legs going through the holes.
Was any like witches and that? Were they like sacrificed at here and that?
Yes, no doubt some people who would have been seen as strange or worthy of condemnation, they would have gone here and been pelted, yes.
So was it like if they didn't believe in God, they would like get punished and that? They would like say, "You're the son of the devil, now you'll be punished."
Well, I think there's different grades of punishment, depending on the year. Some people would have been burnt at the stake, such as in the 17th century, if they were accused of witchcraft. I think predominantly the stocks would have been used for other misdemeanours, really. But certainly people who were seen as odd or scolds.
Like betrayed God and that, yeah? They betrayed God, would it be? No.
Yes, for some of them.
Okay, thanks a lot for that, Lee. So where are we moving to now?
We're now going up onto the moors to the Nine Maidens Stone Circle.
What about Jack the Ripper? Was he ever in this before we leave?
No, I don't think there are any accounts of murderers being put in these stocks.
Oh. Sorry viewers, no Jack the Ripper. Right, and so, should we move on to the next one then, Lee?
Yes, walk this way and we'll go up onto the moors.
Right. No. You're betraying, you're the traitor. It's not me, no, I just don't deserve to.
lost.
Yeah, I think he is, viewers. He's lost again. Should really do some research before set off, shouldn't you?
There's a place called Scary Tor near here. If we're still up here at 6, then that might be quite appropriate.
So we know where we're going now, do we, Chris?
Yeah, we know where we're going now. Lee's trying to get us lost.
How did you find out then?
I asked someone.
Oh. What do you think of Lee's navigating skills?
He needs to work a bit better on them, I think.
Yes, we were actually going the right way, but it's just a case of checking.
This is how we're going to the Irish warfare.
No path going straight up there. There's an offshoot there. It's certainly a hike.
Hey,
It's Lee.
there was a name for you, John. Sure this is not the Irish War?
No, it's a. Some of it's been partially destroyed, but it's still an upstanding wall.
Well, I think I can see the marrow stones.
Ah,
See it's on the top of that hill over there.
keep going and hopefully we'll see a wall soon. Well, it could well be that the wall is on top of this. So this here would be Bellstone Tor. And when we get to the top of this we should see the wall running west to east.
What about the other things?
And the Nine Maidens will be that way, so from the top of the tor we can walk down. We should be able to see the Nine Maidens from the top.
Is that the wall? There's like a big wall along here.
I think the wall's about this thick, and it about so high, and it's very obviously a wall. It's so
You walk over it.
yeah.
How are you feeling, Chris?
Tired now. Better not have to walk up another big hill. place, yeah? The last place you go to?
Final place today?
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
You have to walk up any hills, do you?
No. No, that's quite accessible by car, that one. Well, from the top here we'll have another look.
Let's go then.
Chaps, that resembles a wall.
No, I can't see anything. What's that over there?
The tor with the big rock sticking out.
Yeah.
I think that would just be a
There's a path going up to... You get down there, John?
Yeah.
So what was that for then?
that must be another tour on our way up.
Oh, so really?
Let's inspect. Yeah, it's going to be this way.
Can you see, Chris?
Nah, I think I can see something, but I don't know if it's that. Have a look. You know what I mean? Find it?
Well, sort of. Do you see the first patch of snow there?
Yeah.
Just beyond that, to me, it looks like there's stonework going diagonally down, near towards where the tree is down there. The wall.
It's the wall, is it?
It is. Diagonally along here.
So Lee, can you tell us where we are now?
Well, now we're a mile outside of Belston and we're at what's called the Irishman's Wall. In the early 19th century, a band of Irishmen came here looking for work and they ended up constructing this wall as we see just over here. And the local townsfolk of Belston didn't like this because, as far as they were concerned, these Irishmen were trying to form their own enclosure. And of course the townsfolk wanted to be able to bring their cattle around here. And as far as they were concerned, the moor was open to everybody.
Yeah, there's one story I want to know about this. Now, you said the Irish were building this wall, yeah? Now, would they be able to get food to keep for themselves to go through all the time, you know, because you said they built this wall to like separate burlap and the thingy. So wouldn't they want to, you know, the food in that?
Well, they would have had supplies down at Belston, and also they would have reared their own meat as well. And there's a river just the other side of Belston Common, so that they would have had all the amenities they needed.
So was there any other stories behind this wall then, or was it just the Irishman? Was there like witches, priests, all them kind of people and that?
We're not aware of such things, but what I like about this story is that it's a human interest story, and it shows you that people lived and worked on the moors, and at times there were disputes, very real disputes that would be solved one way or the other. The townsfolk were so upset about the building of the wall, they waited for it to be virtually built, so they waited till it was nearly finished, and then they chased the Irishmen away and knocked the wall down. And as you can see here, now the wall is in such a state you can barely recognise it from the fallen granite.
So there's another thing I want to know about it. So you said it was a wall, yeah? You said it built a wall and that. Was there any other people that used the wall? Like, you know, if the Romans did ever come to Dartmoor, did they use it?
No, it was built in the early 19th century, so I don't think many people would have used it. Maybe some local farmers may have used part of it as a wall for a small dwelling.
Small time. Alright, and Lee, I think you said it's built in the early 1900s, did you say?
Early 19th century, this
Yeah,
was.
Historic Dartmoor.
It's lovely scenery.
How's it going so far, Chris?
I wish Lee would know where things are.
Is it lost?
He looks a bit lost.
How's the search going, Lee?
Well, certainly Bellstone has thrown up more than its share of surprises. And very long walks uphill and downhill. It's definitely been, of the whole series so far, this has definitely been the most tortuous area for looking for our sights. But we'll carry on regardless.
Does that look like it, Lee?
Yes, after some time we've finally found it. The Nine Maidens Stone Circle.
So Lee, can you tell where we are now?
We're now here at the Nine Maidens Stone Circle.
Is there any interesting stories about this circle?
Yes, in 1985 a horror movie was shot here called The Circle of Doom. And legend has it that anybody who interferes with the stones will be cursed. And sure enough, although there were no deaths of any crew members, the sole copy of the film was lost in the post. So they'd gone to all that trouble to film a masterpiece, and in the end they had nothing to show for it.
So, was there any human sacrifice in here, or no?
We're not sure. There possibly was, but what we have here is actually approximately 16 stones. But it's called the Nine Stones because of the association with the number 9 with the occult and with evil in particular. The story is that there were 9 ladies, young girls really, dancing on a Sunday, and they were turned to stone for the fact that they were enjoying merriment on the Sabbath, and so they became stone pillars.
And is this what the ladies could be now?
Yes, that's the popular legend. Since those stories, we have found out that this is actually a cairn circle, so it is a place where possibly bodies were buried. And it could well have been a place of sacrifice in the Neolithic times, and even maybe since then.
So the story is, if you mess with the stones, you'll be cursed, then, yeah?
Yes, when they were filming the Circle of Doom, another stone was erected for some reason, just for aesthetic purposes. And so, of course, the circle was effectively interfered with. And so who knows, maybe the old curse did indeed live on.
Okay.
It's getting dark, Chris.
Yeah.
Not scared.
Not yet.
Turn right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly should be. I think you spotted it. There she is, yeah.
What about trains?
Oh no, the train stopped running in the 60s. It's an old...
Like ghost trains?
pretty much, yeah. It's definitely a spooky squad investigates, I think.
Somebody stands up and goes, ah, that train goes through, ah, remember on Ghostbusters, ah. Right, Lee, can you tell us where we are now then?
Well, we're now standing underneath Meldon Viaduct, which is a listed building made of iron, and it used to carry the Lidford Junction to Oakhampton line.
So why have they changed? Why have they, because I heard that we did hear in the back that in the 60s that the train stopped running here, so why has that all changed?
Yes, well, really, the notable dates for this bridge were made in 1874. 4 years later, it was widened to a double track, and what they did, they built a replica exactly next to it and tied it together. And then when the railway line between Oakhampton and Lidford ended, quite late in the 20th century, then they closed it down. But it's now used as a cycle path and a lovely walkway for people.
So as it's changed, has it changed over the years, has that changed, or is it?
Well, as I say, it was changed into a double track, and very much the surroundings remain unchanged really. There was a quarry nearby, so there would have been a bit more activity, but no, pretty much what you see now is what you had over 130 years ago. It's altogether 540 feet long, and it's up to 150 feet high.
So I wouldn't try and bungee jump off that then?
No, not a good idea. But certainly, especially on a nice day, you get some wonderful views there. Well, that's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hope you join us again next time for Spooky Lee's Historic Dartmoor. Well, I don't know about you, but I fancy a drink.
I can't drink. Well, I'll see you later. Bye, viewers.